Hi, I want to show you some of the tools that I've been using over the last little while to help create some video tutorials for our online learning stuff. And I'd also like to put in the context of how you could use this to create your own video reviews or lessons for your students in the future. Uh, won't pretend this is an exhaustive set of techniques, but it is an efficient set of techniques to get some instruction up here in a quick and efficient manner, because often when you're preparing this for your students, you don't have time to go through and do all of the high-end production techniques that you see on some really nice videos. This is a quick way to go through and explain how something works. I find using multiple software packages helps. And so, for instance, PowerPoint is a great way to keep yourself on track and just go through and talk about what you are going to be talking. And if you've got some predefined graphics that you've got lined up that you want to include in your presentation, you can go through, put together a PowerPoint presentation to touch on your key points, have it illustrated, use your mouse to highlight where, oh, there's no drawing in there. Use your mouse to highlight what's going on in your drawings. And what we're going to use it today for is to take a look at using OBS Studio, an open source screen capture software available for Mac and PC. We're going to use the OpenShot video editor to fix up any mistakes that you might have or crop things together so that it looks like you actually know what you're doing, even though you may be spending hours doing it. One of the things you can tell on my videos is if you look down at the bottom corner, the clock is always right here. You do have a way to make this bar disappear if you don't want to give this information away, but if you've got that clock turned on, you can see what's happening in the video as it gets edited. And also a few tips and techniques that I'm going to use for communicating content, adding your web page references in there, photos and drawings, how to add audio and adjust it into your video editing process, and sharing your video on YouTube. And I'll also share you some of the interesting things I've observed from my YouTube analytics over the last few weeks. So anyways, let's get started by talking a little bit about OBS Studio. So OBS Studio is the open broadcaster software. And this is one of the things I like to do when I'm giving a presentation like this. I'll have some windows queued up and ready to go. Really helps if you've got two screens, but if you don't, you can have them queued up down here. And so if I want to show you the website at obsproject.com, the Open Broadcaster software, then I can just pull that window up and I don't have to Google around for it or search it right there. But I've been working with this software really well, and it is freely available. It's got some documentation online that shows you how you can go through and capture from a number of different devices. And it's useful for more than one thing. You can actually use it to stream your presentation in real time and all sorts of neat things that you can go on using it. But in order to do any of that, you have to download it. So when you get to the OBS site, just go ahead, download the installer, and install it on your system. Now, when you get the software installed on your system, you're going to see a screen that looks something like this pop up on your screen. Now, this is interesting because, of course, I'm using OBS Studio to record OBS Studio. So when you're working on one screen, you're going to see this reflecting pool of images as you've got the basic equivalent of an infinity mirror going on right there. Our capture is showing up right here. Now I'm in what they call studio mode right now. So I've got the preview and the program right here, a little bit of overkill perhaps. And one of the things that you want to watch for is to make sure that your mic is recording really well in here. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to adjust the levels right here. If I go too low, you'll hear that it gets quite soft. And if I bring it up too high, you'll see that I'm hitting into the red zone right there where I may be losing audio fidelity and really annoying my listeners. You can adjust your microphone settings by clicking on the little gear logo right there, and you can come in here to your properties, and this allows you to choose what you're using as your microphone source. So right now I am using a Logitech USB headset, And if you have access to a headset, I strongly recommend that you use a headset or something that keeps the microphone right close to your mouth. It helps you eliminate background noise because, of course, the signal of your voice is so strong coming in right there. Oh, I am recording. Yes, I just realized over here that I did press the start recording button. Now, later on, a little glitch like that, I could go back and edit that out using OpenShot. Okay, so you've got your mic set up here now. Your desktop audio is something you want to think about, and your desktop audio is all of the sounds that Windows makes. So if you receive an email and your computer's set to go Bing, just beware that you'll record that Bing right there, and you may see the notification pop up in your notification window down here. So you may want to close Outlook or any programs that messaging programs that you've got running, or else have them deliver their notifications on your second screen if you've got one. But every now and then I'll be giving a presentation and I'll be like, oh man, I forgot to turn off, Outlook or Slack or something like that. And thankfully, no embarrassing messages have shown up because, of course, no embarrassing messages ever come through on my computer. But if you were worried about that, you could have that completely turned off. So other things that you've got to set up on here, well, there's a number of them, but the main thing that you can do to get things set up is in here under Tools, it has an auto configuration wizard which will run before you get up and running, and you can go ahead and you can put it on. There's a whole bunch of other things that OBS Studio can do for you, but the net result is that you're going to get a file coming out the other end, which is a capture of everything that you've just done. And one of the things that will happen when it comes out is it's going to come out in an FMV form. Let me just pop up my video files right here. See, I didn't have that one queued up. I should have had this one queued up to my videos folder. And I'll just show you some of the files that you get from OBS Studio when it's all done. Okay, here we go. So when you're done recording with OBS Studio, here's a number of the different recordings that I've done over time. It's going to come up as this MKV file. And in fact, this is the file that I'm recording right now. It will record it with the time and date that you began your recording. And so you can see the number of videos that I've recorded over the last little while. Now, they're all in MP4 format because I was using Adobe Premiere Elements to do my video editing, and I had to do what was called remuxing the video into an MP4. So if you're unable to play this MKV video that comes out, then there is a remux function to remaster the file in OBS Studio, and that's right in here. You can tell it you want to remux the recording, find your folder with the recordings in it, drag it in right here, and it will re-encode those files into an MP4 format. Now, it's recommended that you record them in the MKV format. In the event that you suffer a crash or breakdown while you're recording, the MKV format is more likely to keep your data. So when you set this up, make sure that you've got different options, and the help file is excellent, and it will tell you what's going on and help you out with getting your settings. But basically what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to see your screen on here, your audio bouncing up and down right here, and you want to see that you've started your recording right over here. And if you've got all that set up and running, keep going until you're done recording, press stop recording, and then you'll have an MKV file. Nice thing about what I'm going to show you using OpenShot is that OpenShot can read the MKV files directly. So let's just push that right back over there, and it's off of our screen. Now, if you only had one screen, of course, this is where you just click on the down arrow and it would pop down and it would be off your screen. I just like to have it kept open on my second screen so that I sometimes wonder if I've actually pressed the record button or not, and it's right there and ready for me to access. When I'm recording the video, if I make a glitch and I want to stop, I'll just stop recording and then I'll start recording again and try and take off from where I left off, because I know I can come back and piece everything together in editing afterwards. You may reach a point where you want to show some images into your project. And again, this is one where if you've got the project, all your images all queued up below, I wanted to show some servo motors. So I had images of servo motors hooked up and ready to go in here. And so you can just pop whatever image or file or simulator or piece of software up you need, and you can start showing people how you're going to use that right in your file. So since we've taken a quick look at OBS Studio, let's come over here and take a look at the OpenShot video editor and what we're going to do with OpenShot. So OpenShot's pretty easy to find. It's at openshot.org, and I'll bring that window right over here. And what a lovely homepage they have for this. I noticed when I Googled OpenShot that it took me to the first hit was an advertised site. And when you're looking for open source projects, don't assume that they're advertising. Generally, they're free, and so they're generally not paying Google to have one of those advertising hits. But anyways, you can come in here for OpenShot. You can download it. It talks about its various features, and it has support files right in here. You can go into their user guide. But for right now, you just need to download OpenShot, and it should pop up showing you which operating system you're using, and it's available for a number of different operating systems. Go ahead and download OpenShot and install it on your system, and it should work fine. Okay, there we go. That takes us through some of the key parts. Let's take a look at how we can use OpenShot to edit some of the video that we've captured. So OpenShot is sitting right in here, and I'm just going to pop this up to fill the entire screen. So if you've recorded some video in OBS Studio and you'd like to edit it, now's a good time to bring it right in here and start piecing it together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press pause on or press stop on my recording. Let me bring OBS back over here. I'm going to stop my recording, and that will create the MKV file, and then we'll bring it in here and we'll edit it. Okay, and just with that, our little bit of video there is done. And that actually took quite a while, those of you watching the bottom corner of the screen. But to make that go a little bit quicker, what we could do is we could bring that video clip in, and we could go and import our files right here. And it remembers where we were, and this is about where we left off. So let's import that file right there, bring it in right here, slap it in there. Then what you can do is you can separate out the audio, take that out as a single clip, so all your channels come out. They go right down there, and of course we've got this little delay while it processes the audio right here. We'll give it just a second to catch up on that. While it's doing that, let's see if we can import another file, and let's import a file right here. And from my downloads folder, this D downloads, somewhere in here I've got Ben Sound. I've got their extreme action file. Sure, that sounds like something that we'd put over top of a rapidly processing video. And no, it would just be nice if it didn't have to process this audio, because I'm just going to remove it anyway. Oh, I clicked on something wrong. Put that back where it belongs. This would be another good chance to speed things up. There we go. And so there's our audio right there. There wasn't very much audio. And you can just come in here and you could, now if you had problems with the volume or anything like that, you can come in and you can reset the volume. You can change it. But all I'm going to do right now is just right click on there, and at the bottom we've got remove clip. That gets rid of it right there. And then I can bring in, oh, before I do that, I want to speed this part up to make it go really fast. So I go time, fast. I want to go fast forward about 16 fold. Okay. And there we go. Now it becomes just this little clip of time, makes it look like I've got a really fast processor in here. I can come in here, add the bend sound, extreme action sound, bring it right over here to the end. And this is another one of those times where you may want to zoom in a little bit, make sure you are indeed right at the very end of that piece so that you line things up nicely. Should snap in there pretty good. And then you can just come down here and, oh, sorry, right at the top, slice all. And we're just going to keep the left side of that. And then for our audio in here, you can come in here and you can tell it that you want to, at the end of the clip, okay, you can have it do fast fade out. And there's a little marker pops up in there so that when we come to the end of our video, it fades out. And now you can watch that download clip go by, and here the should be playing along right here. May still be having to process the bend sound music right there. Let's come right back over here and play. And we'll bring it in here and we'll edit. Oh, looks like we're just running into a few little processing glitches here as it works on the sound. And that's video editing for you. I can tell you there are other packages that process this video a little bit and audio a little bit faster, but they do cost a little bit more. So if you've got the money for something like Adobe Premiere Elements, or you've got it already installed on your system, go ahead and use it. Microsoft Windows Video Editor, I believe Apple has a system built in. I just wanted to show you a system that comes standard on all of these systems. So I'm just going to stop that right there. And this is going to have to compile a little bit in order for us to see what it's actually doing in there. But when it comes time and you render your animation out, that's all going to be looking fairly good. Okay, so now you've got a video all pieced together, and it's time to upload it onto YouTube. So you'll need to have a YouTube account up and running. And this is just one way to distribute your files. And I like to, you get to see the various range of videos that YouTube thinks that I would like to watch, and they're usually not wrong. But you want to come to your videos once you're logged in right here. Here's all the videos that I've been uploading right here. And just click on the upload icon right there, and then you can go ahead and it'll walk you through the upload process. One of the neat things that you can do with your account is you can go into YouTube Studio and you can pick out some of the interesting things about the analytics on your channel. And oh yay, I'm about, after having an account for over a decade, I'm like 1% of the way to being able to monetize my channel. But it looks like we've been up in the last little while, and I can almost tell you that the top video is, for some reason, I did a video on how to fix a Maytag dishwasher control panel, and that has been my most popular video over the last couple of years, and it's blowing all my educational videos out of the water right now. But one of the interesting things is that you can come in here and take a look at one of these educational videos that I put up. And I think this was the very first one that I put up. And it was really interesting. Here we go, since published, the number of views that it got. And in our early weeks of running these courses online, I could upload the video, and if it was an 8:30 class, I'd have a number of students watch the video. About half the class would have watched the video before noon. And as the weeks went on, I could see that it took longer and longer, and people were time shifting a little later and later into the day. And the average view duration on the videos was starting to go down, down, down. And you're probably looking at this, well, Jason's just uploaded a half-hour video, and I don't need to watch all of it. I'm just zipping forward to the parts that I think are relevant, skipping over the parts that are not. And so this can tell me that on my 53-minute video, the average view duration was 9 minutes. So could I have compacted the information down more tightly? Probably. On the other hand, people have come up with all sorts of neat hacks and workarounds, and they'll play it back at twice speed and hear me do the chipmunk talk, or they'll play it back at a slower speed and listen to everything come through. So there's some really neat information that you can pick up if you take a look at your YouTube video on here, where the impressions are coming from, where your audience is coming from, and your engagement with it, and who your audience is. And there's not enough demographic data to see that on this video right now. But looks like over half of our videos are coming from watches are coming from Canada, and you can pick that out on a day-by-day basis. All sorts of different information, and this video doesn't have enough information for it all. So anyway, in your assignment, I just wanted to make sure that you had the tools to come along and where did PowerPoint go? I think I killed PowerPoint. There we are. That you had the tools to come in here and use OBS Studio to record your screen, use OpenShot to edit your video, and just a few different ideas on how you can incorporate pictures, drawings, anything that you've quickly scanned, digital art, websites. You can just drag them in and pop them onto the screen. They'll be recorded and captured, and you can pop them off and try to do your pacing so it's not quite so nutty as all that, and then edit it down into something that is reasonably coherent at the end. There's much better ways to create much better tutorials, but if you're trying to get information communicated to students, or a basic tutorial on how to use a piece of software, or just a recording of a PowerPoint presentation that somebody could watch as a lecture away from your lecture class, this is probably as quick and efficient a way to do it as anything. Thank you very much.